Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, I've been waiting, the whole world has been waiting for this moment. Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, PWTR, is back on the air. I'm Michael III, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And here, CM Punk Mark 25 from Boston, Massachusetts. Say what's up, man.
It's 35.
I said 35.
You said 25. But I'm CM Punk Mark 35, and I like CM Punk, and I'm a Bruins fan. That's about all there is.
And live from Cincinnati or California, wherever the hell he is right now, Matthew. Icon Matthew 1.
Hey, yeah, actually I'm in California right now. I go back to Cincinnati on Monday. You're good though. No, I'm glad you remember both my living locations. Hey, I'm Matthew. I am a Reds fan and a Washington Redskins fan, and unfortunately a Washington Wizards fan. Unfortunately.
My condolences. And live from the Motor City, the man himself, the one, the only, J-Dub.
What's up, people? I'm kind of shy. You know, I'm not used to doing this, so excuse me.
And you are so full of crap. Anyway, before we start, before I toss it back over to my man J-Dub, we must take a moment to remember those that have passed on during our hiatus. It's been over a year since we've done one of these shows, and unfortunately in that time we have lost a legend in wrestling. Macho Man Randy Savage has unfortunately passed on due to a combination of a heart attack and a car crash. So we remember him and all his contributions to wrestling, and we send our condolences to all his family, his extended family and such, and we are slowly moving on from this loss in the wrestling world. Now, I will toss it back over to J-Dub, and we'll get the show started.
Okay, so we all know the big story of the week is Money in the Bank. We have the big CM Punk versus John Cena match for the WWE Championship. A couple of weeks ago, CM Punk said that it was his intention to leave WWE after Money in the Bank with the WWE Championship. I got to get you guys' thoughts on this entire angle, you know, what's been happening, how it's going to unfold, and that absolutely amazing promos of CM Punk a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the angle's unfolding pretty great, because I think it's pretty obvious I'm a CM Punk fan, but this is honestly the most interested I've been in the WWE title in I don't even know how long. So that's kind of a great thing to have, you kind of establishing that the WWE title is worth something if CM Punk wants to leave and disgrace the whole company, and Vince McMahon's going out of his way to keep it. So overall, with the promos and actually making me excited about a title match for a change, it's just been an all-around great angle to watch.
I would be inclined to agree. This is easily the most interested that I've been in the WWE title for quite some time. And to be frank, The Miz taking a run at the WWE title and winning it, that was rather interesting to me too. But I mean, this just brings it to a whole other level. I mean, CM Punk bringing out the so-called inner demons of the WWE via that work shoot, you know, mentioning Colt Cabana, mentioning Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and all the so-called backstage stuff. That whole shoot, it legitimately had me wondering for a whole day whether or not that was real. And I'm probably one of the biggest cynics out there. So kudos to CM Punk, and kudos to WWE Creative for coming up with something like this. And they picked the right guy to do it with. CM Punk has never been a company guy. I think that's been rather obvious.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think this is the most excited, and maybe even more excited that I've been about the WWE title scene since The Miz won the WWE title initially. Like, this is really exciting stuff. You guys all know I'm a huge JBL fan. I follow him on his Facebook. And the day after the CM Punk promo, he said, when a guy can hit a promo and people are wondering if it was scripted or if it was a shoot, that is a good promo. And he said it was one of the best promos he's seen in the WWE in years. And I have to agree with him. It was just one of those things everyone was talking about. Even kind of marginal wrestling fans were talking about that the day after.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all of my co-hosts. It was a great promo, and my jaw was on the floor, like I did not even know what to say. And when you have, fans going absolutely crazy for it, then you have people in the industry, your coworkers, then people who don't even work for your company, they work for rival organizations, all giving you praise. Then you're hearing it mentioned on mainstream sites and mainstream shows and different people mentioning it. It just was all in all great. And so we have CM Punk down. He's been great in the angle, but what do you guys think about how Cena has been performing, how Vince McMahon has been performing?
I think overall Cena's been kind of a buzzkill in some of these promos because he hasn't come out and he hasn't matched Punk and kind of almost drug it down, but it's not really something huge. It's just that he comes in and he tries to crack these little jokes and he says all the stuff that sometimes you're just like, that was not needed whatsoever. So he kind of drags it down a little bit when he does get involved. And Vince McMahon's been pretty good. The classic "I apologize, you son of a bitch" was great, and he hasn't really done anything to subtract from the overall feel of the promo.
John Cena fit into these promos about as well as Sheamus would in West Africa. This is freaking ridiculous how this guy just comes in. Yes, I know he's trying. Believe me, I know. You can see it. Like, you can hear that he's putting in effort. And I don't think that John Cena is that kind of a guy that, would mind putting the spotlight on someone else. I think that he relishes having the spotlight on him, but I think he doesn't mind having it on someone else every once in a while, except when it comes to WrestleMania or something like that. This guy, he comes in and he doesn't have it, man. Like, whatever CM Punk has, John Cena just doesn't. Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's not from a lack of effort. I really think that Cena is trying to make this feud work. He's trying to make it work, and it does work. But CM Punk is carrying the load, and it's not like I don't even think John Cena is crashing and burning in his promos, but it's obvious that he cannot rise to the level in that type of promo. Like CM Punk, I don't think CM Punk could deliver the type of promo that John Cena generally makes. The fans aren't going to see CM Punk like they see Cena because CM Punk's not a company guy, and that's why this promo is so perfect for him. So when you've got like a promo, which I think of all the promos was actually John Cena's kind of best when he was talking up to Vince McMahon and saying like, "What, are you going to fire me?" Like that works, but it's like when you see something like that, it feels like you're watching like somebody's like you're at like a house, like someone's like house, and you're watching the son get in an argument with his dad, and it's just like awkward for everybody. Everyone's just like, "Can I leave?" Like. Seriously, everyone's just like, this is weird to watch. And I don't think he's ruining the feud at all, but, I mean, I feel like I just don't feel like I don't know if it's how he's written for or if his own performance, but there's something he's not equating to.
I think CM Punk, he's just so good, he basically makes John Cena irrelevant in this feud. So, like, it's like what he says doesn't even matter. CM Punk, he's basically talking to a brick wall. But John Cena, he hasn't been able to keep up. I've been liking some of the things that he's been saying, but one thing that I absolutely dislike about John Cena, every single time, without fail, he always goes for the jokes. He always goes for the corniness. And I just wish, hope, and pray, like, I want to be a John Cena fan. To be completely honest, I want to root for him because he seems like a all-around good guy, but I just can't get behind the corny character that he has, and that's what he resorts to week in and week out.
Yeah.
John Cena is the Dave Coulier of wrestling.
Dave Coulier reference. That is impressive. I never thought I would heard John Cena called that.
Never say this show was never classic, folks. Come on, we bring out Full House references right here.
Okay, so we have a wide range of possibilities of what can happen in this match. We could have CM Punk win the WWE Championship, walk straight out of WWE. We can have CM Punk win, Money in the Bank winner cash in. We can have Cena win, Money in the Bank winner cash in, a clean Cena win, interference. What do you guys think is going to happen at the end of the day at Money in the Bank?
I think the obvious prediction is that Cena will win, but I really have no idea how they're going to have this done. And I'm personally going to pick CM Punk. I think some cool swears coming out of this. I just get that feeling. And but how they're going to do it is so open because there's so many possibilities about how this could happen. They could have Vince McMahon turn on John Cena. They could have somebody else interfere. They could have the GM interfere, something like that. They could do so much. So I really have no idea what they're going to do.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned the obvious possibility because to me the obvious one is that CM Punk wins. I mean, that's the only way you can have it. CM Punk cannot lose to John Cena or else I fear for the life of many people in Chicago, Illinois. That's just how I see it. CM Punk
one of
has
them
to
being
win.
John Cena.
One of them being John Cena, exactly. So, I mean, you have that plus the fact that CM Punk's been building up the fact that he's from Chicago and all that sort of stuff, singing Chicago by Frank Sinatra in Las Vegas. And that was pretty awesome. And that and the fact that he even said himself, CM stands for Chicago Made. So there's that. But here's the thing. CM Punk wins, but remember, it's Money in the Bank. I say that either the SmackDown or the Raw Money in the Bank winner cashes in on CM Punk and wins the title.
And is officially my most hated wrestler ever in the history of the company.
You got to do it. And honestly, if CM Punk wins that title, that's such a breakaway from what WWE has done historically. Like, we all know what Vince did to Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels when Bret Hart wanted to get out of there. Like, do you think Vince is really going to, like, start changing his outlook on, like, how he treats that title just because of CM Punk? Like, he loved Bret Hart. I don't know if he loves CM Punk as much as he likes Bret Hart. You know, like, I think it's more likely that CM Punk wins this title and then it's cashed in and he loses the title. Because Cena winning, it makes everything that's happened pointless. It just makes it like, what was even the point? Like, no one really wants to see Cena win. Even his fans, I don't think truly want to see him win. I think they want to see Cena struggle a little bit, and this was the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, because if Cena won, it would be, basically back to the same old. I'm thinking that they are going to give the championship to CM Punk, but there's no way in hell that he's walking out of that ring as the WWE champion, much less out of the, arena and out of WWE. I'm thinking that Alberto Del Rio, he's going to win Money in the Bank, because we all have to remember that Alberto Del Rio, he won a number one contenders match the week that CM Punk was suspended from WWE. So with CM Punk coming back, he was basically screwed out of his title match that he was supposed to have that Money in the Bank. So I'm thinking that he's going to win that Money in the Bank, be pissed off, and then cash in on CM Punk.
I already hate Alberto Del Rio enough. I don't need that to happen.
Yeah, we'll definitely be getting into, our thoughts on all of these new guys in WWE, because the last time we did a show, Alberto Del Rio wasn't even on the roster, and now he's just blown up.
He really has.
I think he's been shoved down our throats, but that's just my personal.
But speaking of Alberto Del Rio, let's move on to the Money in the Bank matches. Who do you guys think are going to win the Raw Money in the Bank and the SmackDown Money in the Bank?
I think the SmackDown one is going to be Cody Rhodes. I think he's just on that much of a roll at the moment that I think giving him the Money in the Bank is just going to make that heel character so much better. And they also need to elevate a heel that can wrestle on SmackDown. So I think I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. And the Raw one, I think that either Kofi or R-Truth should win, but Alberto Del Rio will win.
It's an interesting point. I was actually thinking for SmackDown either Wyatt Barrow or Daniel Bryan, to be honest with you. Because Daniel Bryan, guy seems as deserving, and quite honestly, if I were him, I'd be demanding some sort of payback for having been pushed off of the WrestleMania card. Because think about it, we could have had Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus at WrestleMania, and if you give him time, he tears a freaking house down. But no, we don't do that. And apparently he gets pushed off the card. So if I were him, I'd be demanding some sort of retribution. So I'm thinking either Daniel Bryan or Wade Barrett for SmackDown. On Raw, I think it's pretty obvious. Alberto Del Rio wins.
Do you think Daniel Bryan is in a position to demand things?
Probably not, but I mean, at least some form of like maybe this push that he's getting is that thing, but I mean, not a demand, just a request. You know, I mean, that's all I ask.
I think Stephanie would be.
And quite frankly, I think that the way that I'm sorry to cut you off, but the way that they're setting this up, if they really are about to make a big change in the WWE, if they're really about to give these independent guys a second look, if CM Punk really is about to leave, they need some other guy in the mold of CM Punk in that independent wrestler, martial arts based kind of mold to step up. Daniel Bryan can be a smaller CM Punk if you let him. He's almost as good on the mic.
Almost, but I
probably better in the ring.
Almost. He's not quite there yet. He's not there yet, especially on the mic. But his theme song isn't that cool. I know it's different and unique, and I love classical music, but I mean, come on. Like, I don't get excited when I hear that music come on. I'm like, I don't even like Sheamus. When Sheamus music comes on,
when Sheamus' music comes on, his mic gets cut off. That's how excited he gets.
Well, on that same point, another one, I know Matt hates this guy, and I would also go to that, but Batista, when his music hit, that was some great music, but and this is just like, I don't even know. It's just some kind of like opening to some cartoon superhero show that's kind of not exciting and doesn't get me pumped up the second I hear it.
Sorry, I think what happened with my line really quick, but yeah, I mean, my predictions, I think on Raw, I think Alberto Del Rio will win because the company really likes him. I don't have a problem with Alberto Del Rio. I think he's pretty talented. But I would like to see Kofi Kingston win and cash it in, especially if CM Punk is going to win. If anyone has to take the title off of CM Punk, if that's how it goes down, I would love for it to be Kofi because he could really benefit from that push. On SmackDown, I think Daniel Bryan is a possibility, but I'm more likely to go Wade Barrett because Christian's probably not going to beat Randy Orton at Money in the Bank, and they're going to need a new heel who to go in and face Randy Orton, and they've done Sheamus a million times, so I feel like they'll do Wade Barrett, even though Randy Orton and Wade Barrett really have clashed enough times already, but I feel like that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking Wade Barrett for SmackDown also, but I'd love for it to be Cody Rhodes. I think he's one of WWE's hottest prospects. He's great on the mic. He has a great character. He's great in the ring. I think he's a total package. As far as over on Monday Night Raw, like I said earlier, I'm thinking Alberto Del Rio.
And I personally would say that R-Truth is more over as a heel than Alberto Del Rio is, as far as crowd reaction goes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would agree.
Yeah. Because to me, when Alberto Del Rio comes out, it's just not the reaction you would expect from a main event heel. And also, at the same time, I'm really dreading a Del Rio Cena match just because if you really look at their two styles, they're very one-dimensional. Cena has those 5 moves of doom that everyone likes to talk about. Now, Alberto Del Rio just likes to go right at that arm and just try to lock in the cross arm bar the whole time. So that could be like the slowest, most boring match anybody's ever seen.
I hope not, seeing as I spent a lot of money to go to SummerSlam. I really hope. But
I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think Alberto Del Rio gets a bad rap because of his style. I think he has a much more. I think his style has a little bit more depth than he sometimes gets credit for. I do not think he's great. I don't think he's quite main event yet. He seems more uppercard to me. But I think when you put him in a match with someone who has a lot of speed, Del Rio really comes alive. Like his feud with Rey Mysterio was very impressive to watch. And I like that they actually made Alberto Del Rio like a legitimate threat. The WWE recently, I have to give them some credit, they really have been working on making the heels a little bit more credible, because you can only have a heel cheat so much. That heel kind of has to get at least vaguely legitimate win every once in a while, like Cody Rhodes has done, and that will make them more of a threat.
Oh, and for everybody that's listening right now, I forgot to let you guys know that we do have a call-in number to the show. The number is 949-272-9567. So if you want to call in, ask us any questions, join in on the conversation, you're more than welcome to do so. And to all of the people in the chat box for PWTR, what's up to you guys? You may not even know you're in the chat box, but if you're on the listening page for the show, all you have to do is scroll down and you'll see a chat box there. You know, we can see your questions and your comments and anything. So, yeah. But I wanted to ask my co-host, what were your thoughts on the other matches at Money in the Bank? Because we've been hearing a lot about John Cena versus CM Punk, the Money in the Bank ladder matches, but there are a couple of other matches there. We have Big Show versus Mark Henry, Kelly versus Brie Bella, and also Randy Orton versus Christian for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think we all pretty much know that Kelly and Mark Henry and Big Show, those two matches are basically there to be stuck in between the Money in the Bank ladder matches and maybe the two world title matches, so that the crowd isn't coming off those matches back to back, so it doesn't kill the crowd being marked out so much. And as far as the world title goes, I don't know how many times you can do the same thing before it finally doesn't work. So that's one of the matches that I'm kind of scared to watch.
Yeah, Kelly, Mark Henry, and the Big Show. That is the weirdest fan fiction I've ever heard in my life. Let's see. Mark Henry versus the Big Show. I don't know. You know what? Mark Henry's been on kind of a roll, so I guess I can't really argue with that. And I don't know why. I just want to go on a tangent here. Whose idea was it to put the Big Show on the poster of the pay-per-view with Hornswoggle with a storybook? I want to know. I want names, and I want them fired. Randy Orton versus Christian. Orton gets disqualified, or the referee makes this quote-unquote bad call. Christian automatically wins the title. It seems like they are very, very... I'm not sure if they're keeping that open-ended for a reason, but if that's the case, then Christian might just come away with the championship. But I don't know. They'll probably have that decision reversed because Teddy Long's been known to do that in the past. So Orton will probably come away with the championship. And Kelly versus Brie Bella will indeed be a match.
It's a match. It'll happen. I mean, there'll be two people in the ring, and the bell will sound, and something will happen.
Yeah. All we can basically say is we miss karma.
Right. Why did you have to get pregnant? Why do you have a uterus?
And speaking of going back to Christian, really quickly, what did you guys think about Christian's reign as champion, as short as it was?
I missed it.
Yeah, I guess if you blinked, you kind of missed it. But if they really just gave him the title to give him the moment with Edge as it was reported, that's just bad business. Like, that is just a bad way to write a wrestling show. Because you basically crushed Christian's character, and now he's jobbing to Randy Orton every pay-per-view. So I don't know how credible Christian looks to fans at the moment. And I think he kind of killed any momentum Christian had going into that world title reign that could have been something special.
You know what really killed me about, the whole way, it's not about the way that Christian won the title. I will admit, I was as excited as anyone else when Christian won because I honestly did not think that they would do it, especially since they didn't give Del Rio the title at WrestleMania. But what really killed me about that is the way that they selected Orton to be the number one contenders. Like, they brought out the great Khali, Mark Henry, and Randy Orton. It's like, okay, we'll let the crowd choose. Who do you freaking think they're going to choose? It's like those old Sunny D commercials. Remember, like, they'd have, like, a picture of, liquefied feces on one side of Sunny Delight, and, like, they'd have a bottle of cyanide on the other. It's like, let's see, which one do I pick? Oh, Sunny D. That's not terrible.
I need to YouTube that commercial. I don't think I saw that commercial before. I'm going to YouTube it.
You never saw it? Look up early 90s Sunny Delight commercial.
I know what myself a third is referencing right now. Like those, I know commercials he's talking about.
If any of you guys know what I'm talking about, I salute you. But that's seriously kind of what killed me about that. It's like, of course they're gonna choose Randy Orton. The other choices are terrible. Why do you know who they're gonna pick? Like, I just wanted to see the crowd troll the heck out of WWE and pick Mark Henry just for the hell of it.
I like Mark Henry. He sweats a lot. I want him to wrestle.
He can feed a small nation with his mere perspiration.
No, but I felt bad for Christian because it was just like, I literally, like, when I say I sneezed and I missed it, I mean, I literally missed it. There was, like, one day, like, I had a lot of homework to do or something like that, and I didn't see SmackDown, and then all of a sudden he wasn't champion anymore. I was like, what the freak? but I don't think Christian's going to win against Randy Orton. I honestly think that they're going to really build it up for a heel. I think that was the worst part about it. Not that they took the title off of Christian so quickly, that they made him heel. I think Christian should have definitely stayed as a face, and it was kind of disappointing to see that happen.
Something that I was just thinking about, wouldn't it be so screwed up if Christian actually won the championship this Sunday and then for like only the Money in the Bank winner to cash in, so his reign, if you could believe it, would be shorter than the first one.
Well, the problem with that is then Christian would go whining and Teddy Long again. We get more of the same crowd we've had for like the past, I don't even know how many months at the moment.
Yeah, I've been liking Randy Orton versus Christian. At one point, it was the best storyline going for WWE, but like you said, it's only so many times that you can do the same thing over and over again before you get tired of it.
It's just run its course.
Yeah.
And J-Dub, you are evil for even thinking of that.
I think it'd be hilarious though. Like, a sick part of my brain would like think it was like one of the most hilarious things ever. Just be like, "What's the freak, man?" Like, have Hornswoggle would come out and like cash it in and then just like beat Christian. So like mess with the guy.
Okay, so I think we've covered everything on Money in the Bank. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about before the show goes off air? Oh, we still got like 17 minutes left.
Ooh.
Well then.
I wanted to talk about one thing. We kind of skimmed over it a little bit with Kelly. I mean, what's going on with the women's division here in WWE? Like, how do you guys feel the state of the union with the women's division is now that like Karma's not around and stuff?
All right. Here's my honest opinion on the women's division. It sucks. And that's my opinion on the women's division.
Yeah, I think it's kind of that moment where you see them coming out and it's like, unless you have some kind of sick mind and you want to watch the match just because they look good, then you stand up and you go to the bathroom and pee.
I think it literally was my pee break last time.
And if you come back from a pee and it's still on, the WWE is doing something horrible by giving them too much time, or you have a really fast digestive system.
I eat a lot of fiber.
On the bright side, snacks.
Right, I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like, I can't believe Kelly is holding the title, even if it is the Divas title. Like, are you serious? Tori Wilson can never hold the title, but Kelly gets to? Like, this is like, I think that just shows you how far the women's division has, like, fallen.
My thing was, why did they get rid of the women's title and keep this ugly thing that is the Divas Championship?
Yeah, no. Like, I think I mentioned that the Divas Championship looks like an accessory for a Bratz doll. It really does kind of look ridiculous. It looks like the whole tramp stamp title, the butterfly. It really does look like a tramp stamp. But you know what was an indication to me about how far the Divas division has fallen is the fact that Snooki at WrestleMania. You know, I mean, and I will give her credit. I thought it was going to be disastrous. She actually pulled off that handspring elbow pretty good. No, I'm not even joking. She kind of didn't mess that up. I mean, she messed up the whole thing where she, like, did a cartwheel and then just kind of fell on her face on top of the opponent. But, like, that's the thing. Like, I thought, wow, she actually did that pretty good. And then it dawned on me that she has about as much in-ring proficiency as at least half the WWE divas. And she never wrestled before.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of these people are like rejected models and everything who just or models who just were a little more athletic and sporty and were willing to get implants. So like it's kind of sad. And I think they don't have the women's title anymore because like Fabulous Moolah and like Trish Stratus kept calling up and saying, stop ruining our title's legacy. And like, fine, we'll put it on the shelf, okay? Like, now you stop calling us and saying they're ruining legacy?
Well, Moolah is dead, so I don't think she's calling anybody. But
she called from the grave.
Yeah, it was that horrible.
In the bedroom at 3 in the morning.
The ghost of Divas division passed.
A Ouija board appeared in front of his face.
But yeah, I think the Divas division is basically going back to the same old after Karma. After she went out with the pregnancy, they didn't even put any effort to try and, retain the viewers that were tuned into it only because of Karma. So back to the same old.
If Karma wrestled while she was pregnant, would that technically be a handicap match?
Well, it's already a handicap match. Before.
Oh. It's true, though. It's true.
Oh, man, I was so about to make a Zach Gallen joke. I'm going to hell.
That guy's like wrestling in Iowa now.
Is he really?
Yeah, like 3XW wrestling or something like that.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, he's still around, man. He's still around. He's still doing his thing.
That's awesome. We should get him on here if he's willing to talk to us.
After you made your Zach Gallen joke.
I did joke. I only thought it.
Yeah, luckily you stopped. Now we're gonna try to get him on the show.
Exactly.
I think we got a call on the line. Hold on. I want to go to this call. Hello?
Yeah, how you doing today?
973.
Yeah, how you doing?
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. Question on Money in the Bank. Actually, a two-part question. First question is, has Vince McMahon, let me address him correctly, the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr., ever interfered in pay-per-view matches before? I'm sure he has. I just don't have that great knowledge base. Can you guys think of any off the top of the head where he's had to come out and in the middle of a match and kind of mess with the result somehow?
Other than the screw job, there was one, No Mercy 2003, when he pushed Undertaker off the top rope in a WWE title match. It was a chain match with Brock Lesnar, and I believe Lesnar picked up the chain, hit Undertaker with it, and won. And that led to the horrible thing that was the Buried Alive match at Survivor Series.
Did he interfere in one of the Rock vs. Austin matches?
Yeah, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
and
do it a
WrestleMania
lot.
16 too.
Yeah, wasn't Vince McMahon also in the match that night, the I Quit match with Stephanie?
Oh, yeah. The day before she married Triple H.
Yeah, exactly. It's an awkward after party.
It is. It's a very awkward after party.
Hey,
the reason
remember
I asked
I
is you guys see
Yeah, it was less than 24 hours ago.
And then I made out with Sable right in front of your mother.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Caller, what was the second part of your question?
Oh, yeah, I was saying the reason I brought that up is, do you see a scenario tomorrow in Chicago where McMahon comes out in the middle of the match and causes some sort of distraction for Punk, and like maybe a scenario where Punk is winning the match and Vince is backstage, he's like, this can't happen, and he comes out and kind of causes a distraction, and Cena's able to take advantage of it.
That's the great thing about this match. I think that's the great thing about this match. Anything could literally happen, and I would not be surprised if that happened. There are tons of ways this match could go. So I can't say no because I can definitely see it happen.
I think a great way to do it would be if Punk is going to resign, then have Vince kind of come out, help Punk. Punk signs a contract, and then we go into kind of John Cena Vince feud where Vince is basically like, I'm not going to allow you to become what I allowed Stone Cold Steve Austin to become, and then we go from there. We have Punk basically being the guy on Raw, and then you have that Vince Cena feud going on that keeps Cena out of the title picture for a while. Maybe we can have other people kind of step up at SummerSlam. You have a newer match for the one of the big 4 pay-per-views.
No, it's kind of funny that you bring that up, Mr. Caller person, because I could definitely see that happening. And actually, I think that might be one of the better routes that they could go. If they have John Cena, if they have Vince McMahon siding with John Cena, and then they try to do some crowd control, saying that John Cena is is the guy for this company, and that's the way it's going to be, then they could say, then the fans can start rising up and start being angry and basically start booing all the faces and all that sort of stuff. And that's just how it's going to be. Then they can say after some point, okay, you know what? The fans have spoken. It's going to be this way from now on. So, it can really I think it'd be a good marketing idea, to be honest with you. That can make even more money than they're making right now. It's like the fans truly have a voice in this company, and here's the one thing that proves it. I mean, sure, it'd be scripted that way, but they could certainly market it like that. And quite frankly, I think that's a brilliant marketing strategy. So you have a good business mind for thinking that up.
Well, I don't know. I think the bottom line is the people who have a voice in that company are the families with 2.5 atomic kids. They're the people that are going after, and that's the demographic. The people that spend money on action figures and video games for the kids and take little Jimmy to the show and buy him a $10 soda. They really don't care about the true people like me and you. I think they recognize that we represent a small sliver of their buying power still, but I think this is their new direction. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it should be a great show in Chicago there. Yeah.
I get what you're saying too. It's you definitely do have to keep your main demographic in mind. That is those middle class families with children that are going to buy those action figures and such and take their kids to the shows and such. I definitely get that, but at the same time, you've also been alienating one part of your fan base for years, that smaller section. And so you got to think, how can you appease one by putting out half decent stories where where your main guy is indeed your main guy, but also have another storyline but also not a storyline, but also market yourself as that rebellious company that does indeed give the fans what they want. You can do both. There is a way to do that, and I think that they're in as good a position as they have been in years to do that at this pay-per-view and to start with Money in the Bank. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they could definitely do both. That's one of my big problems with Cena is because they kind of put all of their eggs in one basket when it comes to Cena. They don't have a wide range of characters because it's like Randy Orton, he used to be that type of edgy, risky person a couple of years ago, but now it's like he's become a less interesting version of John Cena, if that's even possible. And, yeah, I think they should widen it up. It's kind of a shame that CM Punk is being talked about and he's driving people like us crazy on his way out of the company. Like, why couldn't you have noticed that a year ago, a couple of years ago, before we even got to this point? And, mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. But thank you for calling in, caller.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
All right, thanks.
You know it, brother.
So is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
How about the WWE ice cream bars?
Oh, yes, we want ice cream. I definitely want it.
Yes. Totally. The amount of emails that Good Humor got, they had to put out a press release about the fact that the WWE and them were not in talks to recreate the product and that it was discontinued and all that stuff.
Yeah, you could tell it was BS at first because they gave the automated response, "Oh, we don't make this product anymore." Then they came out with like 3 or 4 other statements after that. They had to specifically mention WWE because of all of the responses they were getting.
I just cannot get over that half the people on the roster, at least maybe 75% of the people on the roster, do not get a better reaction out of the fans than the WWE ice cream bars did.
People like ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes Mark Henry, you know. Like they see Mark Henry, like he sweats, but then they see ice cream, like ice cream. And so you know, it's great. I've been picking on Mark Henry today. I don't know why. I love Mark Henry. But yeah, you know, ice cream, man.
And you know, like that's kind of the thing. Like if there were an ice cream based character, like there's a guy in the WWE that basically says that, you know, drugs are bad for you, and he gets them to boo. That's a sign of a great character. I just wanted to point that out. But then that same guy brings up ice cream and is like, yay! Like that's how you know you have a crowd in the palm of your hand.
That's very true. That's a good point. But you know, I think people like ice cream more than drugs.
Drug-based ice cream. No.
He also brought up Colt Cabana, who I'm sure that not a lot of people in the crowd actually remember him from when he was in WWE, because it was a horrible booked little stint that he had. He was basically a jobber, and then he got dumped on his ass. And he had the whole place in Boston chanting Colt Cabana, somebody who's not even in the company. And that chant went on for a solid amount of time. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, definitely.
I think we should email CM Punk and ask him to like promote like PWTR like on the show, because then everyone would like go crazy. They don't even know what PWTR is, but they'll be like, "Oh my God, PWTR! CM Punk said it's cool. I like it too."
If he does leave, we have to get him on the show for the first interview.
But
he did a pretty revealing interview with GQ. It was like just text, no like sound or anything. But yeah, he talked about a lot of stuff. He talked about Colt Cabana leaving WWE. He talked about how he wished he could trade spots with him so Colt could simply just get a chance. Then also he talked about he talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about his problems, his issues with WWE. I'm gonna try to look up the interview now.
If CM Punk ever came on the show, I might cry on air. Just gonna throw that out there.
Dude, I know there's like 34 other fans who liked you before I did, but I like you the most.
Yeah. No, that's got to. I mean, it can't be worse than what I would be like if Paul London were to come on the show.
Can I just ask you why Paul London?
Why Paul London? I'll be honest with you. I was flipping through the channels one night as a wee lad when I was in my friend's shore house in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and I just came across WWE Velocity, and I saw this guy running into the ring and sliding across the ring. I was like, holy crap, that is awesome! And I just see him in the ring, like doing all these flips and crap, and I just find this guy to be completely awesome. So, and that guy was Paul London. So, I often say that, just to say that, the Brock Lesnar Big Show thing where the ring broke got my foot into the door. Paul London kept me in it. He got me into wrestling, and that's why I watched today.
Right, that's cool.
Nice. I like how Velocity got into wrestling.
Yeah. I think this would be something good for us to do, seeing as there are a lot of new people listening in and a lot of older people also. But for the new people, if we could just go around the table, so to say, and call out your favorite wrestler of all time. And you can do favorite wrestler of today also.
Well, today I think you just got to read the name, CM Punk Mark 35. That's pretty simple. But all time, I'd have to say Undertaker, because he was my first action figure. He was my dad's favorite wrestler who got me into watching wrestling. And my first VHS tape that I ever had was like a Best of Undertaker VHS that they had. And I remember on that was the Undertaker and Mankind matches. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing because Mankind's nuts and Undertaker just kind of let him do his thing, and it was great. And then the freaking Hell in a Cell, which is still to this day one of my favorite matches.
And I just wanted to cut in really quickly and thank everybody for listening to the show. We'll be back next week, same place, same time, blogtalkradio.com. Thank you guys for listening. We're about to go into the after show portion. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, we're in the after show now.
Right on.
Party!
Okay, so who's your favorite wrestler, Matt?
Well, my favorite wrestler of all time is probably JBL. He was one of my favorite, really. I just think his ring psychology was out of this world, and he was the guy who really got me into wrestling because, like, I wanted him so badly to lose to Eddie Guerrero, and yet at the same time, I slowly started to, like, respect, like, just how sneaky and, like, underhanded JBL was. Like, the dude just, like, he was always the underdog, and yet he would always somehow find a way to, like, escape these, like, incredible opponents like The Undertaker and things of that nature. So JBL all time. Currently wrestling, it's actually a very odd choice probably for most people, but my favorite current wrestler is actually Katarina Waters, a.k.a. Winter, who's in TNA. I just think she is one. I've been watching her since she was in OVW, and I just think she is one of the greatest wrestlers, male or female, out there. Like, the stuff that she can do when you lit her is incredible.
You can go ahead and mention the ladder match with Beth Phoenix. I know you want to.
No, I didn't want. I know I always bring it up. I didn't want to listen to it. I knew it's been over like a year, and I still was like, no, don't bring it up, Matthew.
I love that match too.
Okay, Stu.
Today I'd say either CM Punk or Paul London, but overall I'd have to say it's a tie between Paul London and Booker T. What, you expecting me to expand on that? Come on. Take my word for it, why don't you?
I must say, when Booker T was King Booker, that was, when I was watching that, I've never rooted for somebody I've never hated someone so much that I wanted him to lose the title so bad than when King Booker was champion. Because he annoyed the hell out of me with that stupid freaking accent.
King Booker!
King Booker!
And my only problem with him my only problem with his title reign was every single freaking defense was against Batista.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, really.
Well, I think my favorite wrestler of all time and my favorite wrestler of today, it's pretty obvious, like blatantly obvious, Triple H. And even though he's going through a little bit of a rough patch now, favorite wrestler of today would have to be The Miz.
Strong choice.
That's a decent choice.
I think Miz.
Most times, one guy that doesn't put anybody over, and then the favorite wrestler today is the guy who had to cheat to win every title defense he ever had.
Well, I mean, he was following in the footsteps of, greatness like Chris Jericho. Like, if we go back and remember, a lot of people talk about how Chris Jericho became the first undisputed champion. If we go back and, look at how he won those championships, it was, through shady ways, so.
Yeah, but he didn't need Alex Riley to do all his dirty work for him.
Well, Miz isn't the first person to, need some assistance. Well, not necessarily saying that he needed, but it was there, so why not?
Well, the one thing I always wanted to hear that feud with Miz and Alex Riley was Alex Riley turn and say, if you rewatch all your title defenses, if I'm not at ringside, you would have lost. And he never once said that, and that kind of got to me. Because that would have been the one thing that I pointed out, was I pretty much defended your title for you.
Well, there was one with the first Raw of 2011 with John Morrison when Alex Riley, I think he was banned from ringside or something, or he got knocked out or something, and The Miz ended up winning the match on his own.
I think the Miz is on the right track. I think he's going to become a big star. I just hope that the WWE doesn't drop the ball like they did with like MVP or even really Christian. So far, they kind of dropped the ball with him. I don't want to see Miz become face anytime soon. I really hope that they let the Miz do his thing as a monster heel for at least a few more years. I feel like the WWE has switched people's sides too quickly sometimes, and it hasn't worked out well for their careers.
Yeah, because he isn't anywhere, like, he's good now, but he isn't anywhere near hitting his peak as a heel yet, so I think it would be too soon for them to think about a face turn anytime.
The other thing is they need to try to figure out what he's going to do now, too, other than get beat by Alex Riley every week. Because when a lot of time you see, like, these young guys step up, when they lose the belts or they lose their title shot, they kind of fall back. You never really... They don't really do a lot except for like on Raw, and I think they need to keep giving them feuds that are on pay-per-view. And I mean, maybe like a number one contenders feud with Kofi wouldn't be bad. Just keep them on pay-per-view for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I think myself third is like swatting a fly or something. No, I do think that they need to make sure they don't drop the ball with Miz because he's really talented and he's someone who's young. He's someone who's had to work his way up. He's not a big recognizable face like John Cena or Triple H or Undertaker, and he could really be one of those people that into the next generation of wrestlers who's kind of one of the top people. I mean, the dude was on Conan. He got a pretty good reaction on there, so he's definitely marketable. And I just think it would be all WWE's fault if they could not make him one of the top 5 stars of the WWE in the next 2 years.
No, you know what? I know I was rather quiet when I was thinking about it, but I was just trying to think of how to put this, what I think of the Miz into words. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that the Miz has not come even close to hitting his potential as a heel just yet. But at the same time, I think that he could also work as a face right now. It's like basically, I think that you can do no wrong with the Miz, and if you do F up his career somehow, you deserve to be fired because this guy is doing such a great job. Works his butt off to get where he is, and now I think he understands that he has to work, 10 times as hard to stay there. I mean, it's kind of what they say about baseball. It's hard to get to the majors. It's even harder to stay there. But it's just the way that the WWE is right now, it's just so hard to get a guy to just stick. And the Miz is stuck so well that, quite frankly, I could believe him as a face or a heel at this point.
The one thing that they did do good with the Miz is he's the first guy in a while to actually have that traditional push that he went through a tag team, he went through the mid-card titles, and then he won Money in the Bank, and then he won the WWE title. He didn't just do what Sheamus did and show up on Raw and then immediately win the title and be shoved down our throats too fast and then kind of kill all momentum that he had when he ended up losing the title and just kind of fall back into the mid-card. Now it's like you don't really believe Sheamus as much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Sheamus, I was really hard on Sheamus when Sheamus first came out, and I do think for about a good half a year, Sheamus was really just kind of spinning his wheels. He wasn't really, like, contributing to anything. And I think to some degree he is still in that kind of position, but I think Sheamus, like I said, every time I hear Sheamus' music hit, I'm like, crap, it's Sheamus. Like, Sheamus is just, like, he's just a mean dude who just wants to, like, win at every cost. And, like, the moves that he does are, like every move Sheamus hits is high impact. And you're just like, good gracious, like, I would never want to fight this dude.
And on a side note, what the hell are they saying? Like, there's this guy on Twitter called Things Cole Says, and whenever Sheamus comes out, it's like too many limes. And I'm pretty sure that is what he's saying. Like, I don't know what the hell that is. Like, in his song, that too many limes. Like, what is that? Why are you trying to say what?
That's true.
My favorite part is at the beginning when it's like when it sounds like it goes lobster head.
Lobster head, yes.
Lobster rock.
Lobster head.
Do you know what I used to think that he said at the beginning of his song? I'm dead serious. For some reason, I used to think that at the beginning of the song it said, "A king today, a slave tomorrow." I don't know why. I do not know why.
Well, seeing as how fast he was de-pushed, that kind of does work a little bit.
That's true. That's why I thought it made sense. I was like, yeah, Sheamus is like he's always gonna swing for the fences. Like that's what they're saying in this song. Like he's always gonna go for the big title. If he doesn't do that, he's just gonna sit around and like contemplate his navel. So I was like, okay, whatever. That makes sense.
I guess since we're on the after show now, if anybody wants to, we could talk a little bit about TNA.
No, the way you put that is what you know. Okay, we're in the after show now. We're in the clear. Let's talk TNA.
If anybody wants to go through the torture of talking about TNA.
God, I watched TNA actually the last 2 weeks. I'm bored. I'm not in summer classes anymore, so I have nothing to do Thursday nights. Oh man. And I do watch it for Winter, who was not on TNA this week. So.
He's actually been kind of on a roll this week, in the past couple weeks. I mean, like since they've been focusing on the X division, they've actually gotten back to what they're actually good at, which is amazing. Instead of focusing on old people that can't work to save their lives anymore, they're actually focusing on young guys who can actually go.
You know, you are saying this just a couple of days after Sting won the World Championship, right?
And
don't ruin my moment, J-Dub!
Well, it will.
I know, and now they've gone back.
The whole thing where Sting walks into Bound for Glory this time with the title instead of crushing some young star's hopes and dreams.
I don't know.
I just don't like what they've done to Sting. Like, why is literally a year ago, people making Joker impersonations was old. He's doing it today. Like what? Like, dude, we make fun of there's a friend at my school who does Joker impersonations. We literally had to tell him to stop doing it. Like, dude, the movie's over. All right, we're all waiting for the third Dark Knight movie. You need to stop quoting the Joker. It's not cool anymore, bro. Like, there are plenty of other superhero movies. Did you not watch X-Men First Class?
But you know what?
Yeah.
That's another thing. X-Men First Class pissed me off, dude.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
No. But on its own, it's a great movie. But as an X-Men fan, Havoc was in that movie, was he not?
I mean, yeah, they didn't stick to canon, but none of the X-Men movies have stuck to canon. Like, they're all over the place at this point. I just accepted that was going to happen a long time ago.
X-Men Evolution was truer to the comic than this.
Good point.
X-Men Evolution was a great cartoon, though.
That was a good an internet fist pound for that reference.
Word, man. Yeah, dude, actually, they actually have all the episodes on YouTube. Only on the after show will you see us talking about X-Men Evolution, by the way. They actually have all the episodes up on YouTube.
Nice. Well, X-Tile Division, X-Men, they're the same thing.
It kind of melts together at some point. Yeah, the X Division in TNA where all the mutants compete. Jack Evans versus Nightcrawler. Everyone's dream match.
Magneto versus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan probably got all those screws in his body now from all the surgery.
A lot of stash. Oh, yeah.
You have too much iron in your body.
Curse you, brother.
No, I mean, TNA it's a lot better than it was 3 months ago. But it's still TNA. Watching TNA makes you realize how good of a product WWE is. WWE gets a lot of crap, but WWE is still the kid that you feel can make something out of himself, and TNA is still the kid that you're not that you kind of think has a learning disability. I don't know if Timmy can read. He might have dyslexia.
Well, the classic moment was they decide we're going to make Team 3D singles wrestlers, and then we're going to have Devon go over Samoa Joe.
Who hasn't gone over Samoa Joe?
Yeah, they gave him the title, and everybody thought we were home free. TNA was finally going to get good, and then Booker T walks in and carries around the belt for his whole title, and he loses to Sting. Nice.
Have we found out who kidnapped Samoa Joe last year yet?
Just ninjas.
Ninjas? Is that literally who kidnapped it? Ninjas?
No, like, do you not remember that? Like, a whole bunch of people in black, like, you know, with head covers and everything, just took Samoa Joe from the parking lot, threw him into a panel van, and drove off.
Oh my God! I totally forgot about that.
You missed that? It's like, and then like three months later, he just comes back. No one says a word about it. Like, I just have a feeling like he had like Stockholm syndrome or something like that, where he just like wanted to stay, and he just kind of naturally just came around to coming back.
Maybe they like took him to like some secret like wrestling federation, and he's learned to love it. He's like one of those like when some like the white dude gets kidnapped by the Native Americans, and they learn to like love the Native Americans. He's like, no, they like really like wrestling here, and it's like no old people, and there's so much young talent, and the crowd is into it, and you get to move around the country. Oh,
they call it Ring of Honor.
What's funny is I don't remember that because I probably gave up on TNA by that point, but that is the exact storyline for the story mode in the TNA Impact video game.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah. LAX beats the crap out of you, tosses you in like their car, and dumps you in some random place in Mexico. And then you just start like wrestling random people, and you eventually get back to TNA, and you work your way up the ranks in TNA.
What? No wonder those TNA games never sell anything. Like, what the crap is that? You have to wrestle your way out. Or you can just go back home.
Yeah. Oh, no, you had amnesia. You didn't remember anything. And then something. I think
movie you've ever heard is like, you know, like Michael Jordan gets captured and he has to play a game of basketball in order to, you know, in order to maintain his freedom.
That happened in Space Jam.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. It's like Space Jam, but with Mexicans.
Oh, the lovely thing that was the TNA Impact video game.
The graphics were so terrible in that game. I still can't get over it.
It was a glorified version of Street Fighter. That's just what we're gonna. Because like.
It literally killed Midway. Like it literally like destroyed what Midway was.
Like Midway kind of was, you know, iffy to begin with at that point. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they had done a whole lot of good stuff. Like, I believe they did NFL Blitz, or am I mistaken?
No, they did do that.
Yeah, exactly. They did all those great games, and then they just kind of started to fade away, and now they're doing. It's kind of like what Rare is doing now. Like, remember they used to put out Banjo-Kazooie and all those games. They used to make for the freaking Donkey Kong 64. They made that. And now what are they doing? Xbox Connect crap?
I don't even know if Midway's still around anymore.
Not Midway, Rare. Oh, okay, yeah. Midway.
I mean, actually, Midway going under is one of the best things that ever happened to the Mortal Kombat series. Warner Bros. I mean, it was interactive. I mean, that story mode for Mortal Kombat is the greatest fighting game story mode I've ever seen in my life. But you know, TNA, man. I mean, I do want to see TNA get good. Like, I rip on TNA and I give TNA a hard time, but I really want TNA to be good so that way WWE is forced to become better, you know?
Exactly. That's exactly what I kept saying before. It's like, what is best for TNA is best for the wrestling industry in the United States as a whole. I stick by that today. And just because they have been doing some really stupid crap does not mean that I don't stand by that. It's like, I do believe that what's best for TNA is best for wrestling in America, but they have not been doing that. Like, I was thinking, you know, come out with some new wrestlers, some fresh stories, and maybe we can work something out. What did they do? They gave some retarded man-child with a mask a superhero ring.
It's true. It really is true, and it's sad. Though I still say this, and I'm biased, but I still think the TNA Women's Division is like pretty much the reason I watch the show, and it's not because I'm a pervert, even though I am. It's just because they're great wrestlers.
Aside from Velvet Sky, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they keep her on for guys who really like a booty and everything. And I like booty, but you know. That's not enough to keep me turning into a show. Like,
and she used to have a good character. They would actually equal out the fact that she wouldn't put on great matches. But now it's just like I believe last time I saw her she was face, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the thing. She was the face and feuding with Winter, who was controlling Angelina Love with her mind. Just so everyone knows how this show gets. She was
zombie.
Yeah, she made Angelina Love her like mind slave or something, and she was just walking around like with a gazed look on her face. Anyway, she like screamed into the mic. She sounds like a harpy. My God, it's like, Winter! You didn't attack me from behind!
It's like I think there's I almost want to say to someone I was going to say that someone compared like that clip where they had let me see if I can find it on YouTube, but I feel like somewhere I saw someone put her screaming Winter next to like Captain Kirk screaming Khan, and it was just like the greatest thing ever. And it really is. I mean, I thought that storyline was terrible just because, like, one, I like Winter, and I thought it was like just really stupid to put her in a storyline like that. Two, I like Angelina Love. Like, I think Angelina Love, when she first came on, was just like, she was like that guilty pleasure. Like, I was like, yeah, like I'd tap Angelina Love, but like I would never tell my parents or like any of my friends that it happened. Like what? I had sex with her? No. But like then she actually became she became a really great character, and she actually developed some in-ring talent. And I'm glad that there was someone out there who was actually said, let's do a zombie storyline, and they did it. But seeing it on screen was just like miserable.
I can imagine just having been there live, like not having seen TNA for a while. It's like you start the show with like Crimson or some guy you've never heard of, like, what the hell? Wait, I thought we were going to get an X Division match. And then you see zombified Angelina Love being controlled by a British lady.
Actually, that did kind of happen to me a couple of weeks ago because I haven't watched TNA in like 11 months, and I checked out the show, and I was like, who the hell is Gunner? Like, who is that?
I still don't know who Gunner is. I don't know what he looks like.
I still have no idea.
Like, I still don't know what Eve Torres looks like. She makes that little of an impression.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was like Eve Torres, and then I remember who she was. Like, oh yeah, Eve Torres. Right.
She's the one that runs out and helps Kelly every single week while she's getting beat down by the fellas.
I can't believe I forgot who she was. Oh my gosh!
You see what I mean?
Like, cause you know who I was thinking of? Like when you said Eve Torres, for some reason I was thinking of Brooke Adams. I don't know why. They look similar, I guess. Like that can't be her. She's not in WWE anymore. I was like, oh, Brooke Adams, Eve Torres, they're two different people. I can't believe Eve Torres was actually a champion at one point. That was just crazy to me. Oh.
Yeah, actually, to me too.
No, at least we're getting to see what the Black Pope. At least we're getting to see the Black Pope do some stuff. Weirdest abs in the world, but we're finally getting to see him do something. Am I the only one who thinks like the Black Pope has weird abs? Like I see him, like he has abs like a woman would normally have. Like they're like it's like the 2-pack, like the long 2-pack, and I was just like,
You are the only person who was staring at the Pope's abs. I think.
They just look weird.
Could possibly be gay.
I'm just saying they look weird, man. I don't understand. I don't know. There's something about his abdomen. It's like too long for his body.
And speaking of which, did you see what he was wearing last week? Oh my God.
It totally clashes his boobs.
Totally clashes.
I just didn't understand it at all. If you went to Ross, you could have gotten the same outfit. It would have been much more fashionable and for much less, darling.
Oh, I know, right? You could have just gone to Ross.
Oh, yeah. I missed this show. CM Punk's like hiding the body or something, like in his place. I don't know. Doors creaking, he's like carrying something. I don't know. CM Punk, who'd you kill, man?
Oh, my chair squeaks like a son of a bitch.
Oh, okay.
You killed Kofi Kingston before you could cash in tomorrow.
If Kofi wins that match, then that'll be a nice moment. I mean, he's only the most over guy to never get even close to a push, other than that Randy Orton feud that he amounted to nothing.
That's very true. Unfortunately, I always like, even though like it's been years since it's happened, I still always expect Kofi to have a Jamaican accent every time he talks. Like, and like I'm always like, oh, that's right. Like they got rid of that like a long time ago. But I still kind of like half expect it, like, or like some sort of like West African accent, because like they don't even say like what city in Ghana he's from. They're just like Ghana, West Africa, like, you know, like. They don't say, like, no one ever goes, like, England, West Europe, like.
That's because he's from Boston.
That's true. That's a good point.
They probably don't even know a city in West Africa.
Like, they only have to go, like, to Google, like, what's the capital of Ghana? Okay, he's from there. Like,
Accra. Isn't it Accra?
Something like that, yeah, Accra. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, why is Africa always just like regions? Like, I don't know, he's from Africa. Like, no one's ever like, he's from Europe. Like, he's from Asia. Well, people actually do say he's from Asia. I take that back. He's from Asia. You know.
Or if you're Meng, like, you know, like one of the remotest parts of the world or something. Like, remember the stupid crap that they had going on in WCW? Like, what was that thing that they had for Meng? Like, the most dangerous man in the world?
Yeah.
And like they named someone after like the one of the worst acts in humanity. They almost named the guy the Final Solution.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, they turns out like days before the show, they changed it to the Ultimate Solution, and the guy that they got for him was the guy who played Bane in Batman and Robin.
Oh, God. Man. That's sad. That's really sad. I mean, there are a lot of, like, crazy offensive stuff. Like, I mean, you know, like, I think one of the most offensive things I ever saw in the WWE was when Vince McMahon wrestled God. Like...
Backlash 2006. We're going to have Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon versus Shawn Michaels and God.
And God. And there was lightning bolts. They went all, I mean, to give WWE credit, they went all the way with that. Like they didn't like skimp out. Like, they didn't like punk out like eventually. Like, oh, you know, it's just like some miracle will happen, and that's how like Shawn Michaels was able to rise against the odds. Like, no, lightning bolts are gonna rain down.
And Vince went to the church and drank the holy water,
and like he spit it out like Triple H.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna buy yourself like a ticket to at least purgatory, like that's the way to do it. Like you're gonna make sure you go all the way with it. Like I'm sure that Vince McMahon has earned himself at least 100 years. I don't even believe in purgatory, but there is purgatory. He's earned himself a good 100 years there from that one feud alone. God's like, nope, I ain't letting you win that quick. Let's stay out there.
2006.
That was when Batman Begins came out. A long time ago. What was that? Actually, I think Batman Begins may come out in 2005. I don't know. Hard to remember.
Good question.
Someone IGB it.
Classic DX burying the Spirit Squad at every chance they got.
Gosh, the Spirit Squad.
Oh, God. I just remembered why I hated wrestling then.
Nikki! Mikey! This is stupid.
Johnny!
And we are the Spirit Squad.
Dun, 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 dun,
I remember Saturday Night's Main Event in 2006 when it was like a 5-on-2 elimination match, and DX just swept them.
Yes.
And they were
I
like in the huddle, There's like one had already been eliminated, and Triple H found their like little like air horn thing that they had, like sticks it in between them all and just blows it, and they all freaked out. It's probably like the only thing I enjoyed out of that feud.
I mean, honestly, when that return of DX, it was like Triple H was like on his Triple H and Shawn Michaels were like so on their game with their promos and their antics, and it was honestly that whole return of DX was like the end of the era with the rated TV 14 WWE. Like that was the last time WWE like pushed the envelope and had like very risque storylines like I'm Vince McMahon and I like cock and stuff. Like that was the last time they did it, and it was kind of crazy. So I have so much more respect for that storyline just for its legacy value now than I did when it was even happening.
Didn't they drop, like, the contents of the porta potty on the McMahon's and Spears?
Yes, they did. They did. Yes, they did. One person who I was interested in, because, like, at one point it looked like he was about to become one of those, like, kind of like a known name in wrestling, was Kenny Dykstra, like, from the Spirit Squad, when he kind of went out on his own, and he had a couple of feuds here and everything, had a couple of good matches with Lashley. Anyone remember Lashley? And then he just kind of, like, then he just got released, like, just out of the blue, kind of.
I remember, like, he walked up to Rated RKO and, like, begged, like, he's like, I want to join you guys. And they were like, no. And they just kind of walked away, and then he just got released.
This is very strange. Like, I always thought Kenny Dykstra had, like, potential, and he got a good crowd reaction. You know, I just don't know what happened to him. He just kind of, like, just disappeared.
I don't know. You know what? I can sort of see that happening to Drew McIntyre as well, and that's kind of a shame because like I totally hated Drew McIntyre at first. Now I can sort of see that he does have a little bit of talent, and he's not just a Scottish Randy Orton because I think that he does have potential to have a character. But and that's kind of a shame because like he's not a Scottish Randy Orton, and that's why he's probably going to get released soon.
Yeah. Like,
what I
that's
thought was
crazy.
good was when that whole thing with Drew and Vicky and Dolph on Raw, and then Vince McMahon walks up, they made no mention of the fact that Vince McMahon had pretty much gone on record of saying that Drew McIntyre would be a world champion someday.
I didn't even think about that.
It's true. I guess Vince doesn't think it anymore because Drew McIntyre has basically been sidelined. I feel like once you're in a storyline with Kelly Kelly, like your career as a male wrestler is over. That's just like that's your like because like I think that's like just like okay we might give this guy a chance. He has one more chance. Put him in a storyline where like he's trying to get a hot girl. Oh, give him Kelly Kelly. Like that was like that's like the Kelly Kelly is like the Ted McGinley of like sitcoms. Like. True. I mean, that chin could sink the Titanic, but yeah, stab you with my chin. Ow, you stabbed me. I mean, it still was like, it literally like was like the swan song for Drew McIntyre. Once like his main concern was impressing Kelly Kelly, it was like, dang, this dude's career is over. Poor Drew. But I don't know. I know he has to be talented, but I haven't seen him do anything talented. I don't know. Maybe it's some sabbatical. Maybe, he's trying to get rid of like a Sims addiction or something. I have no idea. Dude's just like ghost.
He probably his life flashed before his eyes when he was up with the Big Show in the choke slam, and then he just sees Mark Henry running at him. Can you imagine if he landed underneath them?
He'd be Curtis. I feel like he was off of the lungs from like the pressure.
I think I almost died from thinking about it.
They would have needed one hell of a spatula to get his ass off the goddamn like cardboard boxes with the curtain over it.
Huh.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
maybe we should have made this a 60-minute show.
So much to talk about.
Yeah.
But like Adita's just like, whatever.
I think he's just kind of sitting back back and letting us go at it, you know, like yeah. And I don't blame him for doing so. We've kind of been separated from each other for a while now.
Very true. I mean, Jada's like, I do this every Wednesday. I mean, whatever, you know. Ain't no thing, you know. I make a YouTube video. People listen to me. I mean, I make a YouTube video. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got 500 views. That's 1,000. What the freak? I am popular.
I'd freak out for 10.
Like 10 people, 10 unique people listening to my video. Like, oh my gosh.
Like 10 people need to get themselves a life.
No, I'm one of those 10 people.
Yeah,
so
me
you
too.
better watch it.
Okay, so then 7.
Yeah, you 7 people.
Nah, I'll admit 8.
I counted you.
Okay. Oh well.
I don't watch my own video.
Oh. Okay.
I watch all my videos multiple times. That's 50 views guaranteed every time. Oh, gotta get my views up.
I can't even sit through my own videos.
No. So, yeah, it's about time to, wrap up the show.
Sure. All right, for everybody listening to the after show now, thank you guys for listening to the show. I'm putting this down in history. My word, PWTR is back, and PWTR is back to stay. Through hell or high water, we are going to be on. So I'd like to thank you guys for welcoming us back, and we'll be back next week, same place, same time. Thank you guys for listening. Peace out.